Hello valued viewers, I hope you're all doing very well. Our beloved Queen died of course a week ago. We've already done one tribute, this one, a very silly tribute, in the air with 67 humans, which ended very fiery. Now it's time to do the more respectful, professional tribute. Today we're hooking up with Red Squadron, who have very kindly taken us under their wing, and we're going to fly with them today.
So, welcome everybody. So, as I said, this is a power of respects to Queen Elizabeth and those that took part in the Battle of Britain. You will be sharing the sky with heroes this evening or today, wherever you are in the world. So, obviously, please show the respect that this flight deserves. So, we'll be departing Biggin Hill, routing out to the northeast, and then we're going to follow the coast around, back round to Beachy Head, and then recover back to Biggin Hill. So there'll be no combat in this mission or operating outside of the scope of the sortie. You've all got the special liveries that we created for this. So all the flights are equipped with Mark 9s. Red Squadron A flight will be also operating one ME-109, which we fly in respect of one of our adopted Luftwaffe pilots who passed away, and you'll get more information on that as we go through the mission. Obviously, engine management, this is going to be key on this one. So a couple of tips, not wishing to teach me granny to suck eggs at all, but on startup, keep the RPM, don't exceed 1000 RPM until you've warmed up. You want about 20-25 degrees before you report ready to taxi. Once you get yourself airborne, get your RPMs down to 2600 RPM, max continuous. I'll be operating about 2500. So we're not going to overstress the engines today. And use your radiator flaps as required, and keep an eye on your T's and P's. Weather and info today then. So surface wind at Biggin 0404 knots, 1600 feet. It's increased a little bit up to 8 knots. Runway use is runway 04. That's the tarmac runway, but then there's a parallel grass runway, which for this mission we've called 04 left. And both of those we're going to be using today. Clouds broken at 4,000 feet, temperatures +20, QNH is 1013, visibility is greater than 10 kilometers. Biggin aerodrome elevation is 552 feet, and there's 8-degree east magnetic variation. Keep in mind the aerodrome elevation, because once we drop into the aircraft, you'll need to set your altimeters to 550 feet. Subscale's a bit hard to read on the Spitfire, but if you can read it, you want 1013 millibars. Main squadron comms for those that are using normal SRS will be channel A. Channels B, C, and D inter-flight communications, no problem. Run of the mission, enter your aircraft, get yourself set up, do a radio check as required, but please do not start your engines yet. We need clearance from air traffic. Then section leaders establish communications with your aircraft, get yourself set up, and then I'll check in with each flight just to make sure everyone's ready, and then we'll kick off the mission. So there's a bit of an intro into this one. When instructed by air traffic, startup is approved at your own discretion. There'll be a short warm-up period, and then I'll call air traffic for taxi clearance, and then we'll taxi out and then depart as per this next brief section, which is coming up. Proceed en route back to Biggin Hill for spam and chips. Flights, we'll talk about that in a second, because I think we're all pretty much set up on that, certainly with regards to Red Squadron and Grim Reapers, but the other flights, we'll talk about that at the end of this brief. Flight formation or individual section formation. So we got the leader up front, number 2 off to the right, 3 off to the left, and then number 4 following the rear. So that'll be the makeup of each section. If there's we obviously we're going to potentially be in a situation where we can't get 4, so that's fine. You can run a Vic, or you can run anything you like, and then we'll just follow that all the way through with the individual sections. So we're going to have quite a large number of aircraft in a short piece of airspace or small piece of airspace. So safety is paramount, because we all want to get round on this one. So maintain your situational awareness. If you think, oh, this is getting a bit tight for me, just ease off out to the right or left, and then recompose yourself, and then slot back in when you're ready. We just want a nice, safe flight for everybody. Aerodrome layout. So you can see our parking positions at the bottom, and you can see the individual flights there indicated in yellow. And you can see there up to the top left, we've got runway 04, the main tarmac, and runway 04 left. The shorter runway, sort of going more off to the northeast, marked in red, is not in use for departures or arrivals, but it is okay for recovery for taxi. But you're not to take off and land on that runway. And you can see there that we've got a wind coming from the northeast. So once we taxi out, we'll taxi out in flight order first. So I put AM Alpha Bravo flights right down the end because we'll taxi past everyone. And then as each flight taxis past, each then following subsequent section can then slot in behind. I'll talk more about the departure in a second. Runway usage. So for the runways, the way that I've set it up is that the odd numbers will use the tarmac, and the even flight section or flight numbers will use the grass. It just means that we can get each section away nice and promptly. Okay, so each section take off at your section leader's discretion. So section leaders, once you're happy with your flight, everyone's all good to go, and the airspace is clear ahead, depart at your own discretion. And then following sections, once the preceding section is has departed, as need be, you can move up into position and then take off as required. As a flight leader, I'll be going first. I'll be orbiting the airfield at 1,500 feet, about 200 miles an hour, about a mile from the airfield, not too far, but not too close either. That'll give everybody a chance then, to join up or get in rough position. I'm not looking for perfect formation as we're orbiting the airfield. We can sort that out once we go en route. The speed for this sortie throughout the target speed is 250 miles an hour. Okay, nice and gentle. And the target altitude, most of the flight is going to be carried out at 1,500 feet above mean sea level on our 1013, but there is one section where we'll go down to 700 feet. Okay, and we'll talk about that in a second when I bring up the map. I will call out tight turns. Okay, so I will sort of say to you, okay, I'm turning now, and then you've got an indication of where I'm going to turn. I will have to make course corrections because of wind and drift, so I'm not going to call out potentially any minor changes in track. That really, to be fair, only really majorly affects my wingmen, and where we fly together quite a lot, so they're used to my dodgy flying. Okay, so there's our route. So we're going to depart Biggin Hill up to the northwest, proceed to point 1, which, as you can see, is just over the Thames. Then we're going to route towards the east to point 2, which is at the western edge of the Isle of Sheppey. Then we're going to fly down the Isle of Sheppey, where we're then going to turn, follow the coast, or the north-facing coast there, off to the east to point 4. Then we're going to turn right to point 5, funny enough. And then when we reach point 5 and we're crossing that bay on track to point 6, we're going to descend to 700 feet. Now, I'll announce when I change my altitude, and it will literally be a 1,000 feet or less per minute. And so it'll be a nice steady descent. Okay, there's no fighter descents or turns here. So it'll be a nice gentle descent down to 700 feet to point 6. And then as you can see, then there's quite a tight turn at point 6 once we sort of crossing east of Dover there. Then we're going to overfly Dover, overfly Folkestone, and then on to point 8, which is the crash site of our adopted German pilot. Proceed on then to point 9, which is at Beachy Head, and then we're going to route back to Biggin. So I'm going to turn at that point, and then I'm going to proceed on track Folkestone, which is the white cliffs in the distance. And if I get the track right, I'm aiming to be just left of Dover Castle. That will give us the correct track to overfly Folkestone and then set us up for our next point onto point 8. Just be advised that it is a bit tight once we're on track to Folkestone with those radar antennas off to the right there. There's more than enough room to get another aircraft in there. But if it does get a bit tight, you think I'm going to hit them, just go over the top and then slot back in. Okay, then we're route 7 to 8, okay, all at 700 feet. And then once we hit waypoint 8, which is apologies, then there's going to be a slight left turn on track to Beachy Head. Okay, once I'm sort of pretty much on track Beachy Head, then we're going to climb back up to 1,500 feet, where we'll stay, and then we'll follow the route round. And I'll make all major calls, as I've said, once we get back then. So as we're on our way back from Beachy Head, heading north, there will be a point where I'll get each flight to go into echelon right. So that'll set us up for a running break back at Biggin. Okay. Once we do so it'll be straight in on for runway 04. Naturally, obviously, I'm going to brake first with A section, B section, so on and so forth, and about 3 to 5 second space in between each aircraft on the brake. If you can, just call down a downwind position, either down, mid downwind, or late downwind, dependent where you are. But there's no big panic on that. We just want to do it nice and safe. It just gives a little bit of situational awareness to everyone that's flying in the circuit. And if you can call final, and for example, your intended runway, so for example, 04 left, then at least everyone knows what's going on. And again, your arrival runway will be the same runway you departed on. So all odd numbers in the flight will use 04, or the even 04 left.
Hello and welcome back, valued viewers. Now that seems only a few seconds since we did that briefing. It's actually been several weeks, and that's the reason why you're seeing this several weeks after the Queen died. In fact, we did it just a few days after she died, but unfortunately we had one of those kind of 1 in 1,000 technical errors, which meant we lost all of the footage. So we're doing it again for your viewing pleasure. In Golf Squad, it's changed from whatever it would have said in the briefing. We've now got Sock, Artie and Cap doing the flying. Hello, boys.
Hello.
We've also got pilot Dave Pettit. He's my friend, and he is the guy that you will have seen if you've seen us go up in his aircraft. And, oh God, I can't remember what it's called, Dave. Chipmunk, got it. And we've been up a couple of times in the T6 Harvard as well.
Red 6, Takeoff.
That's flown by Dave. Say hello, Dave.
Hello, Dave.
And he's going to be on comms with us. So just having a bit of a chat.
Thank you very much, likewise, mate.
Dave, before we get started, can you tell us a titchy-witchy...
Mic check.
I know they're talking on the mic, but a titchy-witchy about Red Squadron.
Something about Red Squadron. So set up a couple of years back by Winkle, who's leading the flight today. And it's predominantly based around the Harrier, although we do dabble with World War II aircraft and some other of the Cold War jets. And we're basically running a kind of milsim, but running along the lines of RAF procedures, RAF Squadron, operation of the Harrier, and so on. And it's a good little fun group, and open to many new members.
Roger. It's obviously mainly Brits, but it's obviously you've got other guys in it as well. And is it mainly kind of nerds like me, or is it aviators as well, real life aviators?
Oh, we got all sorts. We got digger drivers, train drivers, school teachers, a couple of pilots. Ex-air traffic control is the boss. So in a mix of people.
Roger. Awesome. Okay, guys, wait for orders to fire the engines
Thank
up.
you.
Start engine.
Roger.
Go start engine.
Restarted.
Golf 2, engine start.
Widow Winkle, are you aware of the issue with Baker 4? Repeat that, sorry. Yeah, your Baker 4's got an issue, standby. He's just collapsed his undercarriage, so standby.
Whoopsies.
Told you, we belong here, guys.
Not enough
So do you remember, Cav, when we did the Spitfire sit-in at Duxford, I mentioned the gear lever doesn't actually lock the gear, so it could be moved and collapsed on the ground.
Oof.
Baker Falls just done that.
That is bad design, guys.
Slightly Golf checking in. All temps up.
I'll jump up and just go in terms of join us.
Thank you.
Baker flight ready.
Baker flight, Roger.
Copy.
Flight taxi.
Flight lead, this is Golf. We just got our 4th member. He's starting up now.
Sorry, Golf flight, say again last.
We just got our 4th member. He's starting up now.
Roger, no props.
Baker 4, radio check. Maybe 5.
Golf 3, oil temp is 45.
Safe.
Dave, check it out. Check out that second red Spit taxing. See if you can tell me if there's anything wrong with it.
Cap, stop making fun of his disability.
It's funny.
Second red Spit, that's me.
Oh, ha! Look at Dave's Spit. He doesn't know.
What's happened to my Spit? Oh, I got a man stuck
He
to it.
doesn't know.
Poor Dave. He tries so hard.
Davey doesn't know. Davey doesn't
A
know.
good officer takes his Batman everywhere.
Don't tell Davey.
Alpha 2, you're dragging 2 of your ground crew.
That's how we fly, boys. Let him fly.
I didn't realise he had a Rio in there.
Should I change skins as well? I'll
It
stay with the GR skin.
should be. Yeah, do it. You leave it. Yeah.
You're one of us now.
One of us.
Now, what are the chances my man's going to drop off the wing, or should I get a new one?
It will drop off. Yeah. Or if not, just go inverted and it will come right off.
If you're
Who's
worried
got
about aerodynamic drag, I wouldn't be too concerned.
He'll crumple, guys. Guys, sometimes I think we infect whoever we fly with.
Tell me, is it just me, or does anybody else just have the urge to use their wobble pump as like a fidget spinner?
Ooh. Look at them all taxiing. They're all going sideways, left and right and left and right.
Alpha flight will hold on the runway
That's the correct way to
give
do it.
the tail end Charlies a chance to get themselves sorted out before we depart.
The correct way to do this is Control F5.
What does that do?
That way you don't have to wobble around the deck.
Yeah, mine's getting a bit warm as well. I'm
Make
gonna
sure
open
you
the radiator
force your
flap.
radiators open, guys.
Go flight, taxiing now. We're taxiing.
All right, Socky Wocky. Okay, right. I'm gonna force my radiator open. Check. Potato heat on. Don't know why, but why not? Right. Are you on my right, Socky? You must be, mustn't you?
No, on left.
Oh, right.
GRE is SOC. You are GRF.
Right.
RT is GRG.
Watch me crash this.
Ventura is GRH.
Yeah, Ventura, your push to talk works on 124 as well as Discord.
Wait, I changed my key bindings as well. Right, I've turned my radio off. I'll just use Discord.
Always the best way.
As I found a way of hanging out the canopy, press F4 and you're basically... your head moves out of the
Jumping
plane.
off now.
Alright, 1 and 3, move left.
Right.
Baker flight taxiing out to runway 04.
Guys, I don't want to be that guy, but I haven't done anything wrong yet. Just saying.
Early days, Cap.
Right.
I've lost my Batman. He fell off the wing.
Probably for the best.
Who's to make me tea on the way around?
Okay, Bird and Co are behind us. So everyone taxied. There's no events. This is brilliant.
There's time yet, Cap.
Sunroof 4 ready. Chap, Baker float rolling.
This thing's powerful.
Flight. Moving to active.
Here we go, guys.
Move to active.
No, that's
Nothing more dangerous in the world than flying spits on the ground. I swear.
Had my prop RPM a little too high. 3 in position.
That was stressful. Not gonna lie.
Are you guys sure you're on the right runway?
I am actually offset on the concrete on the right of you. You know, it's near enough.
Copy, near enough.
Runway 4, isn't it?
Alright, let's stagger each other, guys.
Taking off.
Okay, I'm already deconflicted. Cap, 2 rolling. Right, don't screw it up, don't screw it up, don't screw it up, don't screw it up.
3 rolling.
Two airborne, nothing went wrong.
Sock and gear up.
flight lining up. Red flight up.
Right, it's the hardest bit done, guys. Now relax.
Just for information, situation
Identify
around
left.
lead flight is now left-hand downwind 04.
RT, what RPMs are you going for?
About 2.5.
Sock today for you, when you should establish it's all about flying smooth. That's what we need from you today.
Copy. We are in the formation. We're in the
Golf
gaggle.
flight, you're in position. Gaggle is in formation. Baker's in formation. Thank you.
Lead, say your speed.
Hotel flight report says 280.
Bam, don't say that on the radio.
Hotel's following golf. Thank you, hotel.
Says 280.
Yes, it does say 280.
Oh, we're doing 180 at the
Confirm
front.
now, that's all flights, basically information confirmed. Thank you, confirmed.
Banking left.
Okay, copied. Lead flight is another 3/4 of a turn round and we're going to roll out on a northeasterly heading on track.
Leveling out.
We'll call you rolling out.
Whoa.
Slowing down.
Let's get that nice and smooth, so I can rock it.
Good reactions there, Cap.
Yeah, just be careful
Sorry
with your
about
distance.
Light bank left. And now.
Everyone trying to form up.
Slowing down.
Yeah.
So in 2 positions in formation, in and out.
It's my philosophy as well, Dave.
Remember, aeroplanes don't like hugs.
Ensure the phone went looking spot 4.
Increasing.
Dave, what was our target speed today? I forgot.
250.
The flight's going to be rolling out on heading 060, but the specs on correction. And once on track, we'll increase speed to 250.
Okay.
There you go.
We are about to go 260, or I'm sorry, 60 degrees. And then once we get there, we're going to level out, and then we'll go 250 speed.
Roger, Saki. We're right behind the 109.
Going with his gear down.
Really? Oh, you look at that. Embarrassing.
Mustn't press fire button.
Right. Careful, careful, Sock, careful. He's...
Braking right,
Whoa.
braking right.
Whoa. That was ugly.
Oh man.
Yeah, dude.
He's dead.
Who?
I think he realised.
Really?
Unit rolling out now. Increasing
Just
speed
had a
to
collision.
250.
Oh, awkward. That's what happens if you're not part of the flock.
Stand by. You said 3's dead?
Dead.
Copy, stand by.
Flight lead, this is Golf. Our 3-man just crashed.
Go flight, roger.
Okay, forward, take 3's position, please, on left wing.
Should be time to catch up if you respawn.
Yeah, you will.
Yeah.
Formation on your right.
Copy.
Oh yeah, wow. Look at them boys. They've got it going on. Is that what kind of spinners have they got? I think that's GR up there. Doing a lot better than us.
Flight of 3, look right, Charlie, flight right high.
Calling. Cow slip control calling. Maintain altitude 1,500 feet. Regional QNH 1013. Have a good flight. Cow slip control out.
Thank you, Cow Slip Control.
Charlie flight, right high, copy. Next turning point is the bend in the Thames, and then we're going to turn to starboard to overfly the Isle of Sheppey, which will be at our 1 o'clock.
This is the BBC Home Service. Here is the news. In the House of Commons this afternoon, the Prime Minister, Mr. Churchill, said, "What General Vagar called the Battle of France is over. The Battle of Britain is about to begin."
Sock, I think that's what we call the River Thames. Where I think we are.
Oh,
It goes right through London.
I hear there's a lot of explosives in there from like ships and stuff from like the early wars
Oh yeah.
that are still buried in there.
Yeah, just off the Isle of Sheppey, there's a World War I transport ship full of explosives, a big marker flag on it to keep away from.
Battle of Britain flight. Cow slip control calling. Cow slip control calling. Resume navigation for the Battle of Britain fly past Folkestone. No known traffic to affect. Radar services terminated. I will contact you on your return leg. Regional QNH 1013 millibars. Put on a good show, chaps. Cow slip control out.
Yes, Mom. Look at that flight in front. They got their shit going on, Sock.
How are you guys back there?
Alright, it's not an easy plane to fly in formation. be honest.
I tell you what, you guys look just as good as they do, if not better.
There we go, you see. Correct attitude.
Takeoff 4 right.
The girls back home are waiting on us.
3 have eyes on the formation.
Hello, Artie.
Copy. Welcome back, Artie.
Flight leader, turning starboard, now.
Turn right now.
Flying, we're flying. I'm starting to get my S together.
Red 2-1, airborne, vector to you now.
Oh, John got in. How about that?
Red 2-1, roger, copy, well done. We're on track, Sheppy this time. 1,500 feet, speed 250.
Level off and now.
Well done.
That's a vintage pair, that is. Overcoming adversity.
That's right. That's the British. Never give up, guys.
I'm Ken Livingston. During the war, I flew with 19 Squadron in the Battle of Britain. On 1st of September 39, I wrote myself off. I thought you've got no chance of lasting through whatever it's going to be, because it was quite obvious that the way the Germans were moving, they were going to make a hell of a war out of it. And so I was ready for war. It's our country. You die for your country. So war is a total war. And it certainly was in England in 1940. All the stuff that was being thrown at us. And when you think of all the thousands of citizens that were being killed by a blurred bombing, and still they had to pay for it. Yes, we lost people, friends that didn't come back. You have to get into an attitude and to make sure that basically you're as cold as a fish. Once somebody has failed to return, that's it. Dame Fortune smiled on me and not on some of the others. I can only say that whoever it was that pooped off at me wasn't a very good marksman. Lucky. Oh, lucky as hell.
I like the phrase pooped off. Make a note of it, but I like to use it more in conversation.
Approaching the northern tip of Sheppey this time. Join formation, report joining, and then take position number 2 slot, and then our current number 2 will drop back into number 4.
Roger, I'll hold out to the right once again position.
Copied, report joining.
I have you visual in my 12.
Copy.
Artie will rejoin as number 4.
Yeah.
Copy.
I'm Joy Lofthouse. I'm 94 years old, and during the war I flew with the Air Transport Oxen. Well, I think to my age group it was rather an exciting feeling, something. We didn't appreciate what war was, but it was something interesting happening in our life when you lived in a very sort of mundane day-to-day experience in Gloucestershire, you know, so it was quite an exciting feeling to be at war. We didn't appreciate what it was at the time, of course. It said in the magazine that ATA were recruiting, you know, people who hadn't flown before, and what they called ab initio, and so I applied and I got in, and my sister did too. Flying's easy. It's the takeoff and landing that's important, you know. That's when you can make the most. Anybody can fly. What's it like in a Spitfire? It's quite the most powerful thing you ever flew. You feel as though you've sort of been kicked up by the behind by something, you know. It's very, yes. I think the first time you fly it, you don't realise how powerful it's going to be, you know. You do as they tell you, open up carefully and watch for the swing and that. And you just do it, I don't know. You ask me all these questions, but I was young, you know. Everything's okay when you're young, isn't it? Everything's possible.
RT is visual with the Mosquito 4th ship at your 7 o'clock.
Correction to port once we cross the ocean here, and then we'll track down to Margate and then right hand turn past Ramsgate on track over.
A little bit of trivia here, Cap. My great uncle flew Hurricanes during the Battle of France and Battle of Britain with 151 Squadron. And he got himself a couple of kills and shot down twice. And one of the times he shot down is the point we're just approaching at Whitstable Bay.
Wow.
He was 20,000 feet in a Hurricane and jumped by two 109s and took to his parachute. Picked up by the lifeboat from Ramsgate and had a couple of weeks in hospital before rejoining the squadron.
Right. So that's where the Dave magic comes from, is it? That's the lineage.
Yeah, it's the only pilot in my family, but yeah, what a history.
Did he go back to flying?
He did. He rejoined the squadron and then went on to be an instructor, multi-engine course, and flew Mosquitoes.
Wow.
But I failed to notice that when the 110s, the Western 110s were attacked, they used to go into what they call a protective circle, and that they got themselves into violent circulations so they could keep chasing each other's tails. And that was quite a benefit for them, because if somebody was chasing the big person in front of him, he could go for the person who was doing the chasing, and that sort of. And that's exactly what happened in my case. I forgot to look for anybody who might be second in the row or whatever it was, and it was a hell of a bang and crash, and the cockpit got an awful mess. I found the aircraft was suddenly nosing downwards, heading towards the sea, which was a long way away. It was I was about 16,000 feet or something at the time, but it was going down fairly rapidly. And I thought, God, I better start preparing to ditch it. And so I undid my belt and chaps the company, and started to think about getting my feet up out of the pedals and getting to a place where I could lever myself out into the sea. But when I got down to about 8,000 feet or something like that, I suddenly found to my surprise that the aircraft was beginning to come out of its dive. And the German chap got pushed off over to tea or something. And so I started to pull it out, ease it out, and I was only about 3 or 4 miles off the coast by then. And so I eased it back and made for West Hampton airfield by airfield.
I'll follow the Margate and catch you in the turn.
Roger, copied. Request you're in position before we turn it over. If not, stay clear.
Roger.
Mozzie's just came past us, Dave.
That's the nod to my great uncle, Winkle Pudding.
Ah, there you go.
So sad footnote to that story. He went on to Mosquitoes as an instructor, ended up on the Copenhagen Gestapo headquarters raid at 50 feet with a lump of telegraph wire in his wing when he came back.
Wow.
Back up to training up at RAF Lucas as an instructor, and died on the 1st of March 45 in a crash in Pallisburn House, Northumberland.
Roger. What was the cause of that?
It's a low-level sortie, and the crash report thinks that one of the flap actuators failed and one flap came down and rolled them into the ground.
So I've got a lead formation to turn my engine sound down.
Copy.
The only thing I can remember is the comradeship and the way we were looked after by the ladies. You know, the girls, they fed us and tucked us up in bed at night time, just like mother. When you're 19 years of age, I don't think you'd think too deeply about what's going to happen. Possibility I'll get shot down. But I might be able to jump by parachute, I might be a prisoner of war on the quiet, prepared if my time comes to go.
So can you give us a minor wing waggle? Visual.
Four is seeing Gulf Flight as a two-ship with third ship
Flight leader,
catching
turning
up.
starboard now.
Flight lead is turning starboard. Turn starboard now.
I wonder what it's called starboard. What a weird word.
It's towards the stars of the ship. It's like at night. Think of it like because all the docks are on the left and the ocean is to the right.
Golf Lee, please confirm your speed.
Flight leader, descending to
Golf
700
lead
feet.
is
700
at
feet
240.
Copy.
Level out now.
Where are we, Dave? This isn't Dover, is it?
No, just turning around Ramsgate, Manston on the right wingtip.
Roger, noted.
3 is joining from your starboard side.
Are those the White Cliffs?
No, they're further on.
Copy.
They are White Cliffs, obviously, but they're not the White Cliffs.
What kind of stone is that?
Chalk.
Wow.
It's weird. It's like
Speeding up.
Yeah, it's not very solid. You can go and kind of, you know, almost chip it off easily.
Oh, wow.
somehow the squadron had to get airborne very quickly. We went up through a little bit of cloud and we got separated. And I was number 2 to Brian and I was hanging on to him. And the two of us were going up there, climbing like bats out of hell, because we never really had enough time to get up to them. We weren't scrambled enough. And I can remember seeing Brian up there, and he looked at me, and the controller came on, and I can hear him now. Bill Igo, his name was. Brian was leading. He's a Garrick leader, 150 plus Dungeness, Vector so-and-so, Buster. And I looked ahead, and there was this massive aircraft, again like gnats on a summer evening with 109s above, and I'd never seen so many. And Brian and I were underneath them, were climbing up for a head-on attack, and you know, I sat there and I thought, well, what the hell do I do now? Where do you start on this lot? Well, the first thing, Jeff, is to turn your gun button to fire, because if you don't, it won't go bang. And I did that, and I tightened my straps. I can feel it. Got down behind the armor-plated glass of the armor, and we went straight into it.
2-1, report your position. 2-1 in, 109, 2 box.
Sock, just to give you an idea of how small the geography was of the Battle of Britain, if you look just left,
Number 4 moving to the
you'll
red
see the
position.
other side. You can see France just a few miles away. And here's our side.
I've got eyes on.
It's a tiny little fighting area.
Stand by, turn to starboard coming up, roll call.
We've got another starboard turn coming up.
Watch out for the radar bus on the right.
There's going to be a big fight, I think, out there, but it will be too far away for us to see. Of course, there are lots more German machines up there. Can you see? Can you see, so? Yes, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 on top layer. 1, 2, 3. There's 2 layers of German machines. They were all, I think, I couldn't swear to it, but they were all, I think, Junkers 87s. Where are 2 more parachuters? No, I think they're Seagulls.
Lead confirmed speed.
Starboard now.
Lead at 272.
I'll copy.
David, is this Dover?
This is Dover, we're about
Starboard
to end.
turn now.
These are the cliffs, Stamp.
Copy. So pretty.
Chain home there, Dave.
Yeah, chain home Dover.
I've been to visit surviving chain home tower, Dave, at going into Suffolk. Where is it? Going towards Ipswich area. No.
Yeah, would that be Orford Ness area?
Orford Ness, yeah, been to there. Yep.
Right. Showtime, boys. Showtime.
There's some remaining on the North Norfolk coast as well, up near Great Yarmouth.
Roger.
Here's the castle.
Hello, Dover Castle. Must not hit Dover Castle. Insurance will be problematic.
Now, I'm sure SOC's aware, for your American viewers, there's a whole load of American volunteers during the Battle of Britain. They formed their own couple of squadrons called the Eagle Squadron.
Oh wow, I didn't know that actually.
Read about that. They had a nightmare getting over here, didn't they, Dave?
They had to go via Canada, didn't they?
Yeah, because they couldn't come over, Sock. Your country wouldn't allow them, or I forget exactly why, but they weren't allowed over, so they had to do this weird route to get here. And they were very determined to get here.
Nice.
So they started off
by Squadron Leader
Air show.
An Airman's Grace. Lord of thunderhead and sky, who placed in man the will to fly, who taught his hand speed, skill, and grace to soar beyond man's dwelling place. You shared with him the eagle's view, the right to soar as eagles do, the right to call the clouds his home, and grateful through your heavens broken. May all assembled here tonight, and all who love the thrill of flight, recall with twofold gratitude your gift of wings, your gift of food.
What are you saying, Dave?
Yeah, they came through Canada, and as they joined the RAF, they just spread out into the squadrons as required. But eventually, so many Americans came over, they formed their own official squadrons, called the Eagle Squadrons, based nearby Duxford, Debden, and up near Cambridge generally.
On track over Lloyden Stovall's crash site. Expect minor course corrections.
Copy. Lead relays, expect minor course corrections.
And the Eagle Squadron chaps became the founding fighter squadrons for the 8th Air Force when they formed, when the Americans actually came officially.
I've read a lot about the Polish squadrons as well, how they were formed with great reluctance from the British to begin with.
Yeah, again with massive journeys right across Europe, sometimes through France fighting with the French, and then over here to be retrained by the RAF.
Yeah,
my father stole planes to get to the UK and then joined the RAF when he got it.
Fantastic.
The real downer was the Polish airmen were not allowed to fly in the Victory flypast.
Yeah, that's weird.
Wonder why not?
Didn't want to upset Stalin.
Oh, gotcha.
My father, one of the lucky ones who didn't get sent back. Most of the ones that did get sent back were shot.
Was he in a bomber? Was he in a bomber when he was in the
Yeah, he flew Wellingtons and then Mosquitoes.
Historic aircraft collection, the Spitfire and Hurricane you saw, Cap, they represent the Polish heritage flight at the moment, so we're big on the Polish heritage.
Roger.
Yeah, the red and white checkerboard on the nose.
Isn't it funny that you two both have ancestors that flew the Mosquito? Interesting.
Best plane he ever flew, my father said, and he flew everything that the RAF had until sort of late 60s.
I think all the best people are descendants of Mosquito pilots.
You would say that.
Well, someone has to.
Dave, what's this mark coming up, or is it going to tell us?
It will tell you, hopefully. If you don't get it, ask some questions.
Dungeness 10 o'clock, and Beachy Head is beyond. We'll be turning shortly after the crash site.
Salut is
Beachy Head.
Lieutenant Helmut Strobel, Red 2 of the Luftwaffe Jagdgeschwader 27. Lieutenant Strobel was shot down in a Messerschmitt 109E during the Battle of Britain on the 5th September 1940, his 25th birthday. Lieutenant Strobel is credited with 3 scores. Lieutenant Strobel's remains were found on the 5th of September 1986, his birthday, 46 years to the day when he gave his life for his country. Rest in peace, lost but never forgotten.
There you go, guys.
So hence the 109 in the formation.
Flight leader turning to port, approximately 15 degrees, on track Beachy Head now.
Turn left now.
And flight leader climbing to 1,500 feet now.
Level flight now. Raising altitude to 1,500 feet.
Flight leaders of flight, caution, be advised, possible friendly traffic inbound from the south. 2,000 feet.
That means left to right, suck.
Friendly traffic, 2,000 feet, inbound from south.
Roger. Duly noted, Sockington, Wockington. Loads of chain homes out here.
For the first time in over half a century, Pete Brothers will once again take the controls of a World War II Spitfire. Just over 3,000 pilots are officially credited with having taken part in the Battle of Britain. Some, like Pete Brothers, survived and flew throughout the war. For others, combat lasted only days, or even hours.
You're flying my aeroplane. I'm greatly honoured, sir.
It feels just like they used to feel.
If there was one manoeuvre the Spitfire was born to fly, it is the victory roll.
But you have control.
I have control.
You have.
The Battle of Britain claimed nearly 3,000 Allied and German lives. Today, there are only a couple of hundred or so Battle of Britain pilots left alive. For all of them, Britain's finest hour was theirs too.
The Battle of Britain is really a story of sacrifice. Those who benefited were the countries of Western Europe. It was a unique case of one country espousing a greater cause, represented by this handful of young men, the few, as they're now known, who went up to defend their own skies, but were actually defending something much greater at the time. It was, by any measure, not the meanest of acts among nations. This, I think, if anything of ours, is worth your memory.
I hear the Merlin stopped up. I thought, I'm going to have a look at this, and they plummeted off. You know, it was just like a scramble, really. I was back 60 years, 70 years, yeah. Full of ghosts, those aeroplanes were. My old mates.
He said, you've had a rough time, haven't you? I said, no, I haven't had a rough time. Well, wonderful time. He said, your nerves are completely shot away.
They were the happiest days of my life. I'd do them all over again if I could. And do the same thing. And then I had nightmares which have persisted the rest of my life. It's something you grew to live with. It's a kind of scar of honour, if you like. We were faced with something and we did our best and we won.
Flight leader of the flight, just be advised, overhead Beachy, we'll leave Beachy heading 353, 7 minutes for return back to Biggin. We'll call you in return.
7 minutes to Biggin.
Is this Beachy Head, Dave?
On the nose, Beachy Head with the big white cliffs.
Roger.
So that Harvard Battle of Britain flight we flew, Cap, that's all inspired by this kind of stuff. I've read all the biographies I could find, and
Roger.
Obviously the family connection. Hopefully it gives a taste of what the guys were going through.
Absolutely.
As we did on the flight, yeah, it's really about the psychological effect, yeah, the fatigue and the GE stresses and vomiting as you land and that sort of thing.
Yeah, it is true, because even after 45 minutes or whatever, I was exhausted. Imagine doing that 5 times in a day.
It also emphasises how the early formation rules they flew on combat sorties said they had to remain in close formation, and the effort to do that means you're not looking outside and spotting the enemy. So their success rate improved vastly and their losses reduced once they started flying much looser.
Runway 04 left available. Cleared to join from the southwest. Overhead joined with running brake approved. Good show, chaps. See you in the NAFI for a pint.
In the NAFI?
Control out.
We're going to go for a pint in the NAFI, Sock. How do you feel about that?
What is the NAFI?
I don't know.
Is that the Class 6?
Navy, Army and Air Force Institute. It's the shops basically and the supplies that people. So every base has a NAFI where you go and do your shopping and get your stuff.
How about that, guys?
Ah, gotcha. So in the United States,
turning right.
So we've got the
now.
The on-base McDonald's.
Yeah, that place. But there's also an alcohol shop called the Class 6. Turn right now. Pull.
Over an hour and we haven't done a single dirty innuendo sock. I'm so proud of myself.
Turn left now.
Though technically, I suppose that should have been wings level.
Not quite yet. Wings level now.
So tomorrow morning, we start our first pair of students on formation school in the Chipmunks.
Right, so tell me how... So let me just fill the valued viewers in. So you've got Dave here, who owns 2 Chipmunks now, as you do. John, who's up there somewhere as well, he also owns a Chipmunk. They have a little flight called Vintage Pair, where you guys do kind of formation shows, don't you, Dave?
Yeah, formation air displays, yep.
And what are you doing now with this new venture?
So at Fenland Airfield, I've been doing tailwheel conversions in my Chipmunk for the last 2 years, and with the second aeroplane added, we can now train formation and display pilots. So John and I have our first 2 students tomorrow morning.
How about that? What are these students then? Why are they learning formation? Just trying to work out.
These 2 are private pilots who want something different. They're fed up with just flying in straight lines and having very expensive hamburgers when they reach their destination, want something different. So they did their tailwheel conversions, now they want to do something more advanced. So we look at the formation for them.
Nice. Uh-oh. Things happening, guys.
Alarm!
First of all, we were vectored south from Debden, and then we were climbing all the time. Then we were vectored out over the North Sea climbing. 20 or 30 miles off Clacton, we came across these number of airplanes. I climbed up to about 18,000 feet. They were doing circling, and I was going to fly around the opposite way. But I didn't quite get it right. And somebody hit me, stopped the engine, covered the inside of the cockpit with oil, and things got very smelly and very hot. In the meantime, I'd spun down from 18,000 feet down to about 8 to 7, and then I thought, full of confidence, I set out for England. I had no hope of getting to England, so I thought to land in an aeroplane in the sea was a dangerous thing. So I bailed out and landed in the sea, shed everything I could shed, jellyfish everywhere, and thought I was still swimming. 2 hours later, the boat that bumped into me was a rowboat from the lightship. I said, no, I was just rolling in the waves. Peter Townend was absolutely convinced that the way to attack formation bombers was head-on. On one day, I think it was the 26th of August, there was a formation coming up the Thames estuary. We were scrambled from Debden, and Peter Townend arranged his approach so that we would attack them head-on. Eventually I managed to get an airplane in my sights, Dornier, squirted, split-second squirt sort of way, and then started the silliest thing I've ever done, I suppose, started to pull around to have it a second go at the formation. But of course, once I started pulling around to the sights of all the guns of Dorniers, that was it, bang, bang. We'd heard tales that German fighters were shooting down parachutists in the air, and knowing that the cloud top was at about 8,000 feet, this all happened about 18,000, I decided to do a delayed drop until I was in cloud, pulled it, then landed, and paid for it for about 4 days. My sinus just about killed me for about 4 days. got back to my squadron eventually, by which time they'd lost so many pilots who were withdrawn from the... I think we lost 11 pilots that time.
All flight aircraft go echelon starboard on your flight lead. I say again, all flight aircraft go echelon starboard on your flight lead.
All aircraft go echelon starboard, my
We've got a
left.
right-hand turn, approximately 35 degrees to starboard
right.
to position us inbound runway 04 Biggin Hill. We'll
Copy, echelon starboard, right.
A lot of pilots starting to struggle now, including me. We're kind of wiggling all over the place.
My legs are going numb from holding that right rudder.
My butt's killing me.
Imagine doing that 20,000 feet on oxygen in the cold.
No thanks. I'll get an office job, Dave.
No heater in the Spitfire.
Oof.
What?
Right.
So hence the sheepskin jackets in the height of summer.
And there was me thinking it was a fashion statement.
I mean, a daring one, to be sure. I too like to wear my sunglasses at night. Wear my winter coat during the summer.
Would be nice.
The gratitude of every home in our island, in our empire, and indeed throughout the world, except in the abodes of the guilty, goes out to the British airmen who, undaunted by odds, unwearied in their constant challenge and mortal danger, turning the tide of the world war by prowess and by their devotion. Never in the field of human conflict, so much hope by so many.
That was obviously Sir Winston Ventura.
Yeah, I thought I recognised that.
Exact extraordinaire.
Three-quarters of a mile, correction, 3/4 of a mile to starboard turn. Stand by.
I am for hire.
3/4 of a mile to starboard turn.
We are
Gentle turn.
on the echelon starboard. Leader, turning to starboard now.
Stand by for turn.
How far is Biggin, Dave?
2 miles.
Okay, better get back on the rudder bar.
Turn 12 o'clock.
Starboard turn now.
And expect running brake 3-second intervals. And leader, brake.
I'm trying to land one of these after a 2-hour exhausting sortie. On Dave, stick it down.
Take a lead, brake. Full brake. And red leader is late downwind, turning final. Charlie, brake.
I'm going to brake with you, Sockington, for a formation landing.
Copy.
Make a flight late downwind.
Golf, brake. Golf, brake.
Golf, be aware we're cutting in front of an earlier formation.
Noted.
Copy. We will make ours a little bit wider. Gear down.
Hotel, brake. Okay, I think that's my... Yeah, go for it, mate. Sorry, mate. Wrong PTT.
Stay number 3, I'll go 4 now.
Okay, 1 and 3 land left runway, grass runway. 2 and 4, you guys have the hard bar.
Aircraft on landing, vacate and meet up at the runway 10.
Dave, are you all landing tarmac, Dave?
I went grass, but yeah, up to you.
Alright, I just wasn't sure how well it is modelled, but alright.
Turning left now.
Hotel's downwind.
4 short finals. Charlie flight 10 and final. Red 9 clear. Go flight long final.
Archie will land on the grass.
Copy. Only turn on your flaps
Red
when
clear.
you're about ready to land.
Right, let's get trimmed out on the rudder. Okay.
Golf coming down.
2 flaps down. Oh, look at that. Good luck, Golf.
Flaps down.
Hotel final.
Oh, it's got a taxi right in front of me. What a wally. Cat 3-pointer and down. Woo!
Archie 3-pointer and down.
Look at that. Best landing.
Sock 3-pointer down.
Well done, boys. That's my boys right there. Right.
In the groove.
Cap taxi to the right. Dave, where did you guys go after you landed?
Where the flares are coming from, the little tents just by the windsock on the hard runway.
Yep, tally.
Okay, if you guys are set, you go on and meet me to the right on the hardball.
This guy coming in really. There's a Grim Reaper's just coming at 200 knots. He's going to kill everyone. Oh, he saved it. Well done, sir. Well done. Easy on the brakes. Easy on the brakes. Nice. All Grim Reaper's down. One had a bit of a wing whack, but he's okay. I'll take that,
Alright,
guys.
come in on my tail. I'll guide you guys in.
All Grim Reaper's down safe.
Is that a Grim Reaper's flight without incident?
Yeah, I'm scared too. And I don't think I've ever said that before, which is amazing.
Sock beginning taxi.
Alright. Oh, shit. I'm taxiing.
I'm on explicit orders not to do aerobatics in the overhead. We must come and park.
Yes.
Not like real
Negative,
life.
Ghost Rider. The pattern is full.
Jolly good show. Jolly good show.
Golf is down. Taxiing now.
If any of your valued viewers want to join a Milsim squadron, then JSW is recruiting.
There you go.
And Red Squadron is always recruiting for the kind of middle of the ground area.
There you go, guys.
If anyone wants to fly a Chipmunk or a Harvard, then you can pass my details on.
Yes, I can. You can put your links in this video description, so send them to me, so I don't forget.
Perfect.
I'm also available for voice work.
Oh, voice work. It's that beautiful accent, you see. This is where it all goes wrong, guys. There's still time. That's right, lose control and plough into that 109.
Those are severe, he's got his flaps down.
Okay, then.
Excellent. I think that's everyone back now. That was a super job. So, as a CEO of Red Squadron, I'd just like to say it's been an absolute honour to have you guys join us this evening. So, thank you very much.
Here.
JSW, thank you. It was very good as well.
Cap engine off.
Great show.
Thank you for having us.
Oh, my back.
Unless anybody's got, there's a few more just taxiing back, so we'll wait for those. But unless anybody has got anything else to say, we'll meet up for a swift one in Discord. But Cap, I don't know if you've got anything to say.
Great flying by everyone. I was kind of in the back so I could see everyone. It's just really good work, and no one crashed or did anything weird, which is wonderful.
We've still got time, Cap. We've still got time. I haven't stopped yet, moving yet.
Ah.
Engine off.
Sock engine off. Well, that was fun, Cap. I hope that was a good enough flight lead.
That was nice. Well done, Sockington. You being all serious and stuff.
Gonna make up for it in the naffy.
Yes. Yes, we are.
Spank me, daddy.
Mm-hmm.
Socks me playing mess rugby and walking on the ceilings.